If your phone isn't ringing for Plumber Grand Junction, let's look at who's showing up at the top of Google and what they're doing right. We'll cover local service ads, Google ads, the local pack, and organic results. And I'll give you 3 quick tips to get more calls. I'm Max with Chuckwalla Digital here in Western Colorado. I'm running this search from Grand Junction, so you're seeing a true local picture. Your screen might look a little different, but the patterns are what matter. Let's start by running a query for Plumber Grand Junction in Google. So at the top, our top results are sponsored ads. These are local service ads. So these businesses are paying per lead from Google and they're getting guaranteed leads. If you're a business and you're not running local service ads, then you're leaving money on the table. All right, so let's continue down. So the next set of results is what's called the local pack. This is where Google business profiles show up. So the first one we're seeing is Rescue One Plumbing. So the question we need to ask ourselves is, why is this the top result? Why does Google want to position this business at the very top to give them the most calls, the most clicks, and the most leads? So let's click on their profile and just take a look at what's going on here. So we've got our business name at the top. It does have a keyword in it. It has plumbing, but it doesn't have Grand Junction. Apparently they didn't need that. They do have that location listed here. They've got 223 reviews, which is quite a bit, and they've got a 4.9 star average, which is fantastic. Now if we scroll down, we can see they're not utilizing questions and answers, so that's an opportunity for them. And they have filled out a description for their business. It's a little bit short, and I noticed it does say Palisade and Mesa County, but it doesn't have Grand Junction in there. So I am showing you there's some things that they could be doing even better, which tells me that in order for another business to take this top ranking from them, it's completely possible. They could totally do it. The next thing they're doing well is they are posting updates to their Google business profile. So I would recommend doing this weekly. It looks like they're doing it about monthly. They do have their Facebook profile connected, but no other social profiles. So this is not a perfect example of a 100% fully optimized Google business profile. They've done some things and they're taking the cake. They're at the top. Let's take a look at Pride Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. So again, they've got plumbing in the name, in the title of their business. They're actually based in Clifton, Colorado. They have even more reviews at 864. And we can see that they have a description. They've posted some products. They have secondary categories. So the primary category is plumber, but if there are other things that your business does, you want to take advantage of secondary categories in the Google business profile. And they do have some questions and answers. They could be adding more. They're averaging 4.8 stars, which is fantastic. Their description is a lot more full. And they are posting updates more frequently to their Google business profile. They also have more social integration. So let's go down, and before we go down to the organic results, let's go to more businesses here. And let's just take a look at, oh, by the way, these results here are Google pay-per-click ads. So these are popping up because they have got those running. And if we scroll down, we start to see our organic Google business profiles again. So let's scroll way down here. If we go on page 2, we start to see some of these profiles that aren't doing so great. So depending on where you're located in the valley, you're going to see different results here. But if you've only got 15 reviews like Cam's Plumbing LLC, even if you have a 5-star rating, that's definitely a disadvantage. Let's take a look at some more things. So they are posting photos from job sites, which is a positive thing to do. That's definitely going to build trust with Google. It looks like they don't have their website connected to their Google business profile, so that's a huge miss. They're not using questions and answers. So yeah, there's definitely some room for opportunity. They could post more photos from their job sites. They could post a picture of their trucks with their branding. They could post a picture of the front of their office since they actually have an address. They've got a physical location. There's a bunch of things that they could be doing with their Google business profile that would get them higher in the rankings, get more views on their profile, more calls, more website clicks, and ultimately more leads and more revenue. So these are the types of things that we look for when we have clients that are looking to step up their game. All right, so let's go down to the organic search results. Now, number one is actually Yelp, which is kind of interesting. Let's take a look at the Yelp.com listings here. All right, so if Yelp is favored by Google enough to be the number one search result, then if you're a business, you've got to be on Yelp, especially a plumbing business in Grand Junction. So if you don't have an account on Yelp, get one. And if you do have an account, optimize it, similar to the way that you would optimize your Google business profile. Find out if there's ways that you can get more reviews, see if there's ways that you can make more keyword-rich titles and descriptions on your Yelp account, and that's going to give you a boost both for your Google business profile and for your organic result. Okay, so below Yelp, we're starting to see some actual plumbing businesses. So the number one result is this Countryside Service Inc. Okay, so I like that they've got their phone number at the top with a 970 area code. That's going to build trust with Google. They've got the keyword here, plumber, but they actually don't have an H1 title, an H1 heading, I should say, on their website with the keywords Plumber Grand Junction, Colorado. That could be something they could add. That would be a smart thing to do. So this isn't a fantastic site, but it's doing the job and it's getting them a number one ranking for this keyword. So I wonder how much volume of traffic they're getting and leads and phone calls just by being the number one website, and they're doing it without having the keywords in an H1 placed on their site. In their title, Countryside Service Inc., the SEO title, which shows up here, they do have plumbing services and Grand Junction in the title, so they're doing that right. They've got a meta description with the area code, phone number. It does have Grand Junction in there. So they're not doing everything right, which tells me that this ranking could be taken over by somebody who knows what they're doing. But just out of curiosity, let's go in and type Plumber Grand Junction into the Keyword Explorer on Ahrefs, which is one of my favorite SEO tools. Now we can see that the search volume, this is monthly search volume, is 90. So that's how much traffic this keyword is getting. 90 is something that could lead to quite a bit of business for a local plumber. And so being number one in the organic results will result in an increase in leads and revenue. You can see 434clog.com, that's the Countryside Service Inc. business that we just saw. They're probably getting the majority of those 90. That just gives you an idea. I mean, if you had 90 more users on your website monthly, how much revenue would that add to your business? How many leads? It's definitely significant. It's worth going after. And in this market in Grand Junction, it's not that difficult to get to that point. So let's go to the second page of our organic results on Google. And they say that the best place to hide a dead body is the second page of Google. So these businesses, they're on the cusp of breaking the first page. And so with a few tweaks, there's low-hanging fruit. They could definitely get onto the first page. And after looking at who's number one on the ranking, I don't think it would be very difficult to get to the number one spot and take that over. All right, let's take a look at this website, Haze Plumbing GJ. All right. Haze Plumbing and Heating, Grand Junction, Colorado. I'm going to go ahead and inspect this text. That is an H1. It does have the location and keywords plumbing and heating, so they're definitely doing that right. They've got their hours. You definitely want to make sure that your hours are matching between your website and your Google business profile and any other citations or websites where your business is. Google wants to see consistency there. We've got our services listed on the home page just as text. So let's take a look at their services page. All right, so this is just a page with some text and images. There's probably some keywords. We've got some logos. How could we improve this? Well, I think that the best way to improve this without doing too much work would be to actually break each one of their services down into individual pages that are linked from this page to those sub pages. That's something that's going to give them a ranking boost right away. They also don't have a blog, so if they started creating posts that had keywords that were specific and answered questions that people have that are specific to the Grand Junction area, that could really benefit their rankings as well. Let's take a look about, oh, they do have a blog page. It's just hidden under their about page. That's kind of a weird place to put a blog. I wouldn't normally go searching there. So they do have some blog posts, but there's probably a way to optimize these, improve these. Let's just click on one for kicks and giggles. Okay, so right away I'm noticing that this is not targeting the local area. It's just kind of a generic plumbing leaks and valve repair, which is something that people would be interested in searching. But because they're not signaling to Google that this is specific to the Grand Junction or Western Colorado audience, this isn't going to rank most likely. So I'd say that those things are what I would tackle first for this website. The website loads fast. It has, pretty good imagery. It's not a terrible website. It's going to do the job, but there's some things that we could do with optimization to improve its ranking. And as I've mentioned in this video over and over, the Plumber Grand Junction search and the organic results after Yelp, these websites, this #1 website, it ain't that great. And so being able to take that #1 spot from this website would not be difficult. And some of the things that I've talked about in this video would influence getting there and making more revenue, getting more leads, getting more phone calls. So earlier in this video, I promised 3 quick tips that you can use as a Grand Junction plumber to help rank better, get more leads, more phone calls, and more revenue. So the first tip is something that I went over when we were looking at some of the organic results. You want to have a literal title in H1. So your title is what somebody sees at the top of the tab. That's part of the SEO on-page optimization that I would recommend doing. It's low-hanging fruit, it's easy to do, and it makes a difference. And then the next thing is an H1. So an H1 is the absolute top level HTML heading on your website. And you want to have Plumber and Grand Junction, Colorado, along with your brand, and perhaps some sort of specific niche that you're really good at. Maybe it's emergency and same-day service. That is going to help a lot. So that's tip #1, a literal title and H1. Tip #2, an emergency section. So you want to post your hours, your response time, after hours policy, click to call, and maybe even a short FAQ. So this is going to help you rank not only for Plumber in Grand Junction, but emergency plumber in Grand Junction. So these are people with the highest buying intent possible living in the Grand Valley. #3, the review and photo velocity on your Google business profile. This is crucial. So we want to be getting as many reviews as possible, asking every customer that we help for a review, and we want to be posting real job photos to our Google business profile. Those are going to help your Google business profile rise to the top. And as you saw, and I can take us back over there, when somebody does this search, right below the local service ads and the Google pay-per-click ads, we're seeing the local pack, and that's your Google business profile. So some people will argue, and they have a really good point, that the Google business profile is even more important than doing SEO optimization for your website. To finish out this video, I'd like to offer you some free help. If you're a plumber in Western Colorado and you want me to do this teardown for your business, grab a free 15-minute rank check in the link below. The full checklist is in the description. If this was helpful, like the video and comment teardown with your business name, and I will send it right over. Thanks for watching.